Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be revisiting a band called Vesperian Sorrow. Now I did cover them a short while ago. I can't remember the name of the song I checked out now, but I checked them out a little while ago and they intrigued me because they were a black metal band, but they were a black metal band with the difference. There was a lot more sort of melody to them. They had a really interesting sound that I wouldn't normally have associated with black metal, but I did find them very interesting. So today I'm going to be revisiting them again. No, revisiting them, should I say? I can't say revisiting them again if it's the first time. And we're going to be looking at a track called Quest of the Exiled. Now this is off one of their older albums, which has recently been re-released through their record label, Black Lion Records. So yeah, when I checked out the last track of theirs, I think it's Stormwinds of Ages, I think it was. It was off their most recent release. Now, I said in that video that I wanted to check out some of their older stuff, so we're going to look at this one. Yes, should be I'll be interested to see what this one sounds like compared to what Stormwinds of Ages sounded like, because, like I said, they had a very interesting sound that I wouldn't have normally associated with black metal as they were labelled. So here we go. I have lyrics up here. Again, I'm not sure how accurate these lyrics might be because they appear to be fan submitted, so there might be some mistakes in there, I don't know, but we shall see. So we'll jump into it and see what we've got. So, Quest of the Exiled by Vesperian Sorrow. Let's have a look. And there we go. Quest of the Exiled by Vesperian. Sorry, and I really like this band. They are so interesting to me. Because, like I said, they refer to themselves as a black metal band, but there's so much more to them than that. They're not what you would call a traditional black metal band. I mean, obviously there are elements of black metal in there. There's symphonic elements in there. There's very melodic elements in there. There's parts in there that have sort of a death metal feel to them. There's parts of this band that actually remind me of one of my favourite bands from when I was younger, which is Nocturnus. I'm not sure if it's just the sound of the guitars or something, but there's something in there that reminds me of Nocturnus, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But they are a fascinating band, and they execute their music brilliantly. They are not what I would call a traditional black metal band. Obviously there is a heavy black metal influence in there, but there's something in there that really, really intrigues me. Now, from what I can tell, this album, Regenesis Creation, was a concept album, I'm guessing. Excuse me. Given the context that this song, given the way this song is, because this track sounds like a chapter from a story. And the fact that it's called Quest of the Exiled, that pretty much sums up the entirety of the story that's being told within this track. And it's very well done. I really quite like it. And throughout the track you had your sort of higher pitched black metal sort of screen vocals. You had some sort of deeper growled vocals. You had some sort of deeper spoken vocals. You had some narration thrown in there as well, excuse me. It was a fascinating piece of music. Now, the track itself was quite long. I think it was about nearly 8 minutes long. Now, the lyrics, they go. Journey of lost souls embarks in thine skies. Seared fields and plateaus mark the beckoning cries. Winds that gale and waters that flow, howls that wail and slaughter of foes. Weapons raised high, and the crests were given higher. Deafening roars from the mountainous fires, visions are affixed on the mightiest treasure. Villainous conflicts are exacted with pleasure. Storms commence and shadows befall, swarms dispense the cackling calls. Closer and closer they feel it in their hearts, yearning the closure for their lives torn apart. Tasting the revenge and loving hatred, none hasting to avenge, the prize is awaited. So just that sort of first opening bit there, it's talking about this group of people, I'm guessing the Exiled, setting out on this journey to try and find a new place to live, I'm guessing. They were part of a battle of some sort, I'm guessing, and they've probably lost, so they've been exiled, sent out into the wastes to survive on their own. And I'm guessing, they're off on this journey to try and find some place to live, because there's that last bit there, which was closer and closer they feel it in their hearts, yearning the closure for their lives torn apart. So closer and closer they feel it in their hearts. They know something good is coming. They know they might be finding this new place to live. They can feel it in their hearts. They know that this is coming, and they just yearning for closure of their lives torn apart. They want to put that part of their lives behind them. They want to start a new life. Forget about what's happened. Tasting the revenge and loving hatred, none hasting to avenge, the prizes are wasted. So whilst they still have all this anger and frustration about what's happened, the way they've been exiled from their home, the way they've been slaughtered probably and cast aside, whilst they still have all that, they're putting that aside because they're more interested now in finding a new place to live rather than going back and taking vengeance on these people that have done this to them. But that's what it seems to be. I could be wrong. He carries on. Across the hills and dales and beyond the coastal plains, the arbours, the thickets, and the past relentless rains, through the desert marshes and all the flood-laden valleys, crested harsh, are the blood-maiden galleys. Days turn to months, and months into years. Praise burns the sun that lessens their fears. Strength has arisen, adrenaline high. The weak are visited. What the hell does that word say? Incarnadine thrives. The weak are visited. Incarnadine thrives. Don't know what that means. It's a word I'm not familiar with, and I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't read it properly. Anyway, onward towards the horizon they travel with pride, carrying in honour all the comrades who died. So, you know, as they're taking this long journey to find this new place to live, obviously people are dying. I mean, it said that days turn to months and months turn to years. So obviously they've taken a very, very long journey. You know, they've been living a sort of nomadic existence for quite some time. And during this time, you know, the weak, elderly, the infirm, whatever, have probably died. But as a sign of respect and honour for these people, you know, the fact that they fought alongside each other, you know, there's a huge amount of respect with them. And they're taking the dead with them anyway, you know, despite how much it might hinder their progress or what have you, they're still taking them with them as a sign of honour and respect. Marching relentlessly, the exiled never lose sight of the quest, embarking bequestingly, spent and veiled, conquering the ultimate test. Dignity and pride lead the unwavering attacks, unity applied, speed the favouring acts. Victory and success, conquering all enemies, sanctity noblesse, pondering all to serve thee. Ashar, Drad, and Kolar aid the ensuing mass. Now, I'm guessing they're possibly three of the characters from this story, Ashar, Drad, and Kolar. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is a concept album which tells a greater story, and this is just one small chapter. Anyway, Ashar, Drad, and Kolar aid the ensuing mass. 2 moons, 1 star, give praise to the ruining chaste. They held the silvery pendant high in adulation, the 4 points intercepted the 4 enclosures, arms raised towards the antiquated temple, the exiled are reborn, and heed the call to Serpithia. Sorry. So, at the end there, it seems they found this place, and I mean, the way it's stated at the end there, it seems to be like some sort of place of legend that they've heard about, that they've been seeking out. You know, the 4 points of a pendant have pointed to the 4 enclosures within this place, you know, like indicating a special place. And the arms raised towards the antiquated temple, the exiled are reborn. So they've travelled to this mythological, or you know, this place of legend, this fabled place, and found this temple, and you know, the exiled now have a place to call their own, and they can now probably fight back against these people that have done this to them. So, you know, I like the way it's done. You know, it sort of tells a story of their journey through to find this place, and it's very, very interesting. I need to hear the rest of that album. If it is one greater story, I really need to find out what it is, because it fascinates me. And, you know, I really do enjoy the music. It sounds so good. You know, as I've said on numerous occasions before, black metal and I have a bit of a turbulent relationship. You know, it's a sort of love-hate relationship. I either love it or I hate it. But this, I find this absolutely fantastic. You know, it's really fascinating. I love the style of it. I love the variation throughout the music. It's really, really quite brilliant. But I don't know what else to say about that, so I'll leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel and help me create future content and probably improve the quality of future content. There is also an option on Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire. There are a couple of provisos with that, however, so that people don't abuse it, and so that people who use regular means to suggest tracks get a fair shot as well. If you do suggest a track through regular means such as Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube comments, there is a chance it will take me a while to get around to it, since I get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it'll get done eventually. It's just going to take me a while to get through to it, I'm afraid. Also, Metalhead reacts as a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, mainly those that involve people of the alternative culture. And it's something that's very important to me, something I really strongly believe in, because it's something that I've had to deal with for most of my life, something that many of my family have had to deal with, something that many of my friends have had to deal with, and I'm sure that many of you watching have had to deal with. And it's something I've never understood. You know, people every single day, all over the world, are getting violently attacked just purely because they listen to heavy metal, they listen to alternative music, and it absolutely boggles my mind. And it's not just simple little bullying, it's not the occasional shove, it's not just name calling. These people are actually getting really badly hurt. They're getting brutally attacked just because of their taste in music, and it's absolutely insane. When people are getting so brutally attacked for their taste in music, something is wrong and something needs to be done. When it gets to the point that people are getting bones broken, people are getting hospitalised, people are getting stabbed just because they like different music, something really needs to be done, but nothing is getting done. And that really needs to change. Because every day we hear about all these other things like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred. We hear about these sorts of things every single day where similar things are happening. People are getting violently beaten, people are getting stabbed, people are getting brutalized, sometimes even, sometimes people are getting murdered because of their race, because of their religion, because of their sexual orientation or preference. We hear about these sorts of things every single day. And we hear all points on the spectrum, from the most vile, where people are getting murdered, down to the most petty and pathetic, where entitled Karen is calling the police because a family of colour are having a picnic. We hear about these every single day, but we never, ever, ever hear about these people that are getting brutally beaten, sometimes murdered, sometimes, stabbed, hospitalised, broken bones. We never hear about these people that are getting these sorts of attacks just because of their taste in music. We never hear about it. The last time it was covered by the media, the last time we ever heard of this in the media on a widespread basis, was when Sophie Lancaster and Rob Maltby were violently attacked, brutally beaten. And this was 12, 13 years ago. These two young people, 20, 21, brutally beaten by a group of 5 or 6 people so viciously that they went into a coma. They had their heads stamped on, for crying out loud. And both of them ended up in a coma. Now, Rob Maltby, he did thankfully survive. He was in a coma for maybe about a week or so, can't remember exactly how long. But Sophie Lancaster, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and died. This young girl, 20-year-old girl, was minding her own business, walking home, and she was brutally murdered. Let's not beat around the bush. She was murdered just purely because she listened to alternative music. And that happened, like I said, 12, 13 years ago, and that's the last time there was any widespread media coverage of something like this happening. And the reason for that is, since then, nobody has died. And that is disgusting. It shouldn't take the death of someone for this sort of thing to get spoken about. People are getting hospitalised. People are getting severely beaten. They're getting brutally attacked just because of their taste in music. But No one wants to talk about it unless someone's died, and that should not be the case. It shouldn't take someone's death for something to get done. You know, if it was a person of colour getting attacked in this fashion, something would have been said, something would have been done, it would have been in a newspaper. If it was somebody of a different sexual identity or gender preference, something would have been said about it already. It would have been in the newspapers, it would have been on the news. You know, something would have been said. You know, if it was a disabled person that was getting attacked in such a fashion, something would have been said, something would have been done. But nothing is getting done because it's a goth, because it's someone of the alternative culture. No one cares. You know, and that needs to change. Because essentially the people that are committing these crimes are getting away with it. And we cannot allow that to happen because people are getting severely hurt. I mean, how long is it before something like what happened to Sophie Lancaster happens again? We cannot let that happen again. It should never have happened in the first place, but we most certainly cannot let it happen again. How long is it going to take before people actually sit up and take notice of the fact that this is a real problem? And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to bring more attention to the fact that this is happening. They want to make people take notice of the fact that this is happening and put an end to it. Because we can't keep letting people get brutally beaten to death. You know, we cannot allow it to keep going on. You know, they don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die over the course of 2 weeks. You know, just over something so petty as you don't like the same music as me. I mean, when you really think about it, how pathetic is it that people are beating the living hell out of each other just because they don't like the same music? I mean, you don't do that to people who don't like the same TV shows as you, do you? So what difference does it make if they don't like the same music as you? Why is that a trigger point? Just let it go. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody is entitled to be different. Anyway, if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can pop over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can, especially they don't go on mad, angry rants when they're explaining it. And if you can help them out in any way at all, you know, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any way at all, whether it's like a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands from their web store, you know, if you can help them out in any small way, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about it, the sooner we bring more recognition to the fact that this is happening, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. None